All right, all right. Welcome to A Gamer's Guide to Productivity, the podcast where we explore how gaming techniques can help us navigate real life challenges and improve our productivity. Of course, I'm your host, Nico Penguin, and today I'm going to be diving into a personal story, essentially how gaming helped me balance full time college with a hectic schedule while working full time in the retail industry. So I'll be sharing some insights from my experiences and how games like Path of Exile, if you've heard of it, let me know. Or games like Club Penguin, which essentially helped inspire my actual gamer tag, Nico Penguin. So we can dive a little bit on that there a little bit later. And RuneScape, one of my favorite RPG games of all time, which essentially lets you know I'm a millennial because I mean, at least I don't think RuneScape is that uh, big of a game nowadays. So I'm going to discuss how these experiences have equipped me um, and enabled me to essentially navigate the college scene and the work scene. And so I'm going to be diving in and how these skills I acquired from gaming translates into my ability to manage my time, build relationships, and thrive in both the academic and work environment. Okay. So we're going to just be talking things through based off of my experiences. I'm not going to try to take up too much time because I don't know how much time everyone has this morning. I do want to let you know if you do like it at any point in time, please make sure to drop a like, a comment, a subscribe, and a share to somebody that you think would also greatly benefit from this information or the value that you are getting from this. Okay. So picture this: I'm working full time in retail. That's around 40 hours a week in retail. That's managing individuals who are looking to buy items at last minute. They're looking to make a peach cobbler on Thanksgiving. They're looking to buy curtains because it's Halloween. They want to buy cups because it's New Year's. So this is the world of retail, and you are the individual that needs to make the items appear on the next aisle. And if you're not able to do that like a Houdini magician, then you are the worst of the scum on the earth. And sometimes you may get cursed out. You may run into individuals who don't like the way that you try to assist them. And that's just how the world works. Plus, I'm also attending college full time. That's at least where I'm at here. I think that's like 4 to 5 classes a semester. And something that I've learned that my high school teacher had explained to me that my college professors did not really explain to me, except one did confirm this, is for every 1 hour that you're in class, you're supposed to study 3 hours worth. Meaning, if you have three classes of an hour each, you multiply that by three, and that's 9 hours. Now, if you have five classes, that's 15 hours. And if you have like five classes a day, an hour a day, that's like 45 hours. So when my high school teacher had explained that to me and explained that you need to really segment yourself as a student that studies, it enabled me to understand that to do college full time means to dedicate time to studying and doing homework and doing projects. And on top of all of this, I still found some time to game. That's crazy, right? Working 40 hours, going to school between 4 to 5 hours, plus then studying 15 hours, and then doing homework and projects, and then still finding time to game. At first, honestly, it felt impossible to do. I couldn't game at first at all whatsoever, and I had to focus on creating a schedule that I was comfortable in from. And at that time, I did not have a vehicle. I was just catching the bus, literally. I was grinding, just like the skills I picked up from gaming. It literally ended up being my secret weapon for juggling everything. Like Path of Exiles, guys. All right, I'm not gonna take too much time on Path of Exiles. Path of Exiles, alongside Gun Bros, are games that really taught me how time management and strategic thinking really applied can help you balance things in games and in life. So, for example, Path of Exile is just a grinding game, right? You just go in there and you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But at the same time, when you take a deeper look into it, you have to recognize that there is a lot of things that you are doing within that monotonous way of playing the game. Like you're just smashing the same combos over and over. You're doing the same thing. Destiny is another game where at some point it just starts becoming really, really repetitive, and you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Zombie games, Call of Duty Zombies, it becomes the same thing over and over again. But when you do it at such an enormous amount of time, it enables you to understand that if you can manage your skills times, if you can manage the time that you're going to run and do objective A, you're going to run and do objective B, and you have your cooldowns, your potions, your mana potions. You understand if you have like a revive, how long it takes, how your teammate can strategize to get to you during that time frame, so that way everyone stays alive, especially when it gets to the more complicated levels and the more complicated um, schemes and campaigns, and it becomes more difficult, and thus you need to tighten your time management and your strategic thinking. And it's the same thing when you come to doing it in school. When it comes to doing it in work, you're given a pile of homework to do in X amount of time. You're given a pile of um, food to move in X amount of time for your job. When I had to do assistance with moving the crates, you had to move, like, I think it was like 60 crates in an hour. And at first, you think that it's a hard thing to do or that it's impossible under these conditions. But as you continue to do it over and over again, you naturally start to become acclimated to it. You start to become used to actually getting the work done. Your body becomes used to moving those heavy objects. And that helps me to understand that work can get completed as long as you are given a good tutorial. I'm so serious. I think any job can easily get replicated by the majority of people if there's a very good tutorial. Like, you can really train somebody to do really complex things. And that brings me to my next point that I don't want to take too much time on, this next point either, is the social skills that I developed from Club Penguin and RuneScape. Because with college and with retail, you are really learning about yourself, about how you interact with people who you don't know, who you've never seen before in your life, and you may only see them for a couple of minutes. Sometimes in college classes, the first day you go, students will just walk up and get out of the class right then and there. As a shocker, like, you're paying for this class, or you thought you were paying for this class, and then you realize your financial aid didn't come through, and so you're not going to stay in the class and leave, or that this teacher doesn't really explain things in the way that you want. And so when I played Club Penguin, I was always doing missions. I was always going across the actual game from one side to the other, and on the way I would be talking to people. I would get used to breaking barriers, getting into conversations, learning how to interact with people. Sometimes people are going to get mad at you. Other times, people are going to be really looking out for you. They're going to really be trying to help you. You know, Club Penguin and RuneScape might seem like simple fun, but these are games that really taught me how to interact with people. Because in those games, I was always meeting new players. I was learning to communicate effectively. Sometimes I typed incorrectly and people, roast me, but it enabled me to build virtual friendships, people that I could interact with on a constant basis. And let me not even get started on once voice comms became a thing for me. Once I had access to like virtual conversations and talking to people, I think it really increased my skill set in communication. And those skills are the same things that I'm explaining that really transferred to real life, because it enabled me to make new friends in college easier. It enabled me to speak to my college professors in a much more professional tone. And I quickly adjusted to new coworkers at work whenever there was turnaround, whenever they got fired, whenever people quit. I already knew how to navigate these social situations. I got the training from the game. You know what I'm saying? And that brings me to my next point here is applying the strategies from games to life. So with games, let's say like with Path of Exiles, grinding for gear that would take, let's say, an hour, or leveling up in RuneScape that would take an hour. I was always trying to solve these problems and figuring out the strategies, like an engineer. Like I'm level 11 and I want to get this gear that's level 13. What do I need to do in order to get to that level in the shortest amount of time? Whether it was going on adventuring, whether it was PvP, whether it was doing quests, I was always trying to figure out these strategies. And that definitely carries over to real life, because when I hit roadblocks in school or work, I just treated them like a video game challenge, like an actual quest that I needed to overcome, a puzzle, so to speak. Not something that would stop me or bring me down, just something that enabled me to have the mindset that I need to keep leveling up one day at a time, one challenge at a time. And it enabled me to always think about what is the next best thing that I can do right now. And it's usually focusing on this problem at hand. And by focusing on this problem at hand, it enables me to put all my energy, all my resources into trying to figure this out. And if I can do that, if I can pause for 5 minutes, 10, 30 minutes, and try to figure out, what do I want to accomplish? If I want to go to college and I want to be able to get my own car, and I want to be able to pay my way through college, or get some things that a college is not going to be able to get me, then I need to make sure that I'm applying my time management skills efficiently. I'm applying my social skills efficiently. And because I learned time management from games way before I was working, like games like Path of Exile, Gun Bros, Call of Duties, enabling my social skills through other games like RuneScape and Club Penguin. And I would even say now with League of Legends, it's enabled me to treat these in-game strategies that aren't just for the in-game into actual real life strategies. And it's enabling me to treat life like almost like a game, because I'm setting up goals, I'm setting up quests, I'm making a plan to how am I going to achieve these paths, and then I'm going to essentially work towards earning that next level every single day, and just focusing on the next best thing I need to focus on. Not treating it like I'm on level extreme. I'm simply treating it like it is part of the game, part of the quest, whether it was trying to attain a degree, or whether it was trying to further my career and going into the next level of that. And so I just want to let you guys know, gaming is not just entertainment. When you think about it, it truly teaches you real valuable skills that can apply to your everyday life. And if somebody can balance full time work, full time school, and still find time to game, man, I know everybody out there can too. You don't have to be a genius to be able to juggle. Now, there may be some people, I will say, there may be some people that cannot do more than one thing at a time. And for those that understand themselves, I commend you that you don't have that capacity. And for those that procrastinate because they don't feel like, or they don't think that life is all about just working hard and then no play. I'm a big proponent of, you can work hard and you can play hard too. You just have to make sure that you're prioritizing what you want to achieve first. If you want to achieve, let's say, earning at some point six figures, but you're playing 30% of your time and you're only working 40%, there's not a good ratio. And then if you're not putting in time to learn new skills, you're not putting in time to get physically fit, get mentally fit, and you're just working at your 9 to 5, not even investing, working paycheck to paycheck. With this economy and the way things are going, unless you're managing your time efficiently, you're pouring into your day job, you're pouring into extracurricular activities, you're investing on the side. I'm not a financial advisor, but maybe on some crypto, some stocks, mutual funds, real estate, like all that good stuff. Again, not a financial advisor. I'm just saying, if you have the time management skills and the efficiencies and the budgeting skills, like when I played Age of Empires really taught me how to real time manage budgeting, like budgeting, how to use your funds from wood, coin, and food, how to develop economies, how to essentially develop at the things that you're supposedly going to be doing on your own. Because when you think about it, a game like Age of Empires really teaches you as a youngster, as a kid, how to manage your whole life. Because you're always going to need food, so somebody has to be on that. You're always going to need coins, so somebody has to be on that. You're always going to need, materials for buildings and the things that you want to develop, like wood. And so when I take into account all the things that I've acquired over the past couple of years playing games, it's enabled me to start taking that skill set, like that bar on the RPG games that you have, and then just applying it to things like at work. So when somebody says, "Hey, do you know how to do X, Y, and Z? Do you know how to type out these professional emails?" Like right after my retail work, I've never really done professional emails. I already knew how to do so because I've been sending support emails to games for so long. Like whenever there was bugs, I would be one of the guys that would type up like one of the drafts to send to these um companies, like with RuneScape and Club Penguin and Pop Tropica, Candy Stand, Mini Clip. Whenever these games would not be working, I would be writing a report, sending it to them, because it's one of the things that I learned in school from keyboarding class and having business class, and understanding that businesses get better with more customer interaction. And so as a kid, I already knew my feedback was valuable to the business, because if I saw that the game wasn't working right, if I knew like I'm supposed to hit this 8 ball in a candy stand 8 ball game, and it's supposed to hit into the corner pocket, and it doesn't because the game glitches, well, I'm gonna type up a little report with a little subject line, send it to them, letting them know that their game glitched, and it causes me to not look cool in front of my friends or something like that. Well, I was that kind of individual. I had no fear in sending those kind of emails, because I always knew that this is going to improve them to get way better. And that's why I said, like, if I have the time to manage all of that, play games, go to school, work, and now in this case, still want to develop, still want to help others, making sure that individuals that have the desire to improve can do so based off of their interest, because this podcast isn't for everyone. This podcast is mainly for gamers who have the hours acquired in the gaming sphere and want to do better, or have the desire to improve themselves and just don't know how. So this podcast isn't for everybody. This podcast is for the gamer that's listening, that is recognizing, like, dang, like I have X amount of hours in this game, and I've always wanted to do A, B, C, and D with my life, but I never thought, how could I? Well, if you have any amount of hours into that specific game, you could break down what does that game enable you to learn. It's like we're in the Matrix. I think that the gaming sphere enables you to learn in a way that you are still learning that skill. Like, I think I was reading this article that was saying that practicing a physical sport multiple times end on end enables you to get like 80% better. I might be screwing with the stats. And then it said that a non-physically participating but mentally mentally practicing individual gets better almost at like a 78% ratio versus the person that does nothing. Somebody looked that study up. When I read that, I was so perplexed because I said, wow, that has to be amazing to know that if you mentally can train yourself, that's at a 78% rate versus physically training yourself, you're 80% going to get better. Mentally doing it is 70% and not doing it at all, you're at a 0% rate. You're never going to get better, not even mentally doing it, which enabled me to kind of connect the dots. That makes me think, yeah, if you play games and you develop a skill, whether it's budgeting efficiently, time management, like my sister does a lot of Candy Crush, a lot of those I don't know if it's those makeup games or like those cooking games where you're against the clock and you have to create an order. That's really time management skills to the T. Because then in the work world or at school, you have to do things in a very short period of time. And so when you get acclimated with the game and you get you understand how to juggle, doing tasks in 5-minute bursts, getting a quick understanding of your task, executing it, getting feedback if you didn't do the job that you were required to do in the manner you were required to do, going back and fixing it. I realized that when you start applying your games to life, it takes you to the next level, especially if you've already put in a lot of hours at games. For me, it's a seamless transition. Now, I could be chatting all day, guys. If you found any value so far in this episode, please make sure to like, drop a comment, share it to somebody who you think has put in hours into games and needs to understand that they can provide some value to us all. Okay? Again, if you found this episode helpful whatsoever, if you feel like you've poured hours into the game and you think that you can do something with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with another fellow gamer who has juggled school, work, and life, or is juggling school, work, and life. Until next time, remember, guys, keep leveling up in your games and in life. And thanks for tuning in to this episode of A Gamer's Guide to Productivity, because I really hope that my story resonated with you and showed you guys how gaming can go beyond entertainment, helping us level up in real life as well. Um, and I don't want to sound like repeating a record, but if you found today's episode helpful, again, please don't forget to drop a like. I'm not charging any money. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more episodes like this. Share it with a friend. Leave a review. Stay connected with me on the social media for any tips on how gaming can boost your productivity. I'm always dropping reels on Instagram regarding the interviews. If you have anybody that you would like me to interview, let me know, because then I can reach out to them and try to make it happen. And as always, keep playing, keep learning, keep leveling up in life. It's Nico Penguin. It's a fantastic Wednesday morning. Let's get this XP at life, guys. Take care and have a great rest of your day. And again, let me know what you think about this episode in